Hey guys, Peter here to do an EP review. Vader is releasing a brand new EP, Die Messenger, on May 31st through Nuclear Blast. This EP has 5 tracks and is 14 minutes in length. The band is also working on a full-length release later on in the year. So when you think about that, it's really important in terms of the makeup of this EP, what the band decides to put on, considering there's going to be a full-length release down the road. I really like what they did. I like the fact that they included 3 brand new songs, they included a cover song, and they included a remake. The reason I say this is very simple. When you have a full-length album coming out later on in the year, you really don't want to put too much brand new material on an EP release because you don't want to take away the allure of a full-length album. At the same time, you want to give the fans something to at least open their appetite to that full-length release, and at the same time give them something to listen to until that full release comes out. So you really have to be able to carefully tread that needle and really think about how many songs, how many new tracks you're going to include, and what else are you going to put in there. What can you offer the fans that gives them something new, but at the same time leaves them wanting more for that full-length album that's coming later on. To me, they did exactly that, and they did it to perfection. I really like what they've done, not only from the amount of songs that they put on the EP, but the structure, how they structured them throughout. They really mixed them well, the brand new songs with the remake, with the cover song. So I really like everything from this EP, everything that they had to offer. I like the structure, I like the sound, I like the aggressiveness that it has, I like how dynamic it is. The songs are all short, compound, but very powerful, very dynamic, very aggressive, and very, very heavy. Overall, all the tracks have more of a death metal vibe, but there is still some thrash elements in there. Obviously, the cover song is a lot different because they covered Steeler from Judas Priest, so they give that song a complete new dynamic. So it's not really a death metal dynamic per se, but they did give their DNA to that song. But overall, this is a real strong, old school death metal sounding record with some thrash elements here and there. There's one song specifically that has a lot more thrash than death metal, but overall, when you're looking at the big picture, this is a really heavy death metal record. Now, as far as the songs are concerned, I'm going to go track by track. I'm going to start with Gren Deceiver. That's the first one on the EP, and it's a great way to get it underway. It's one of the 3 new songs, and it's heavy, it's relentless, and there's tons of aggression. Perfect way to get started. You're starting it off on a brand new track, and you're starting off with a song that just never lights up. It's just aggression from the first minute to the last minute. It's a very short song, just over the 2-minute mark, but it packs so much heaviness, so much power into it. Absolutely opening of the doors and just barging your way in kind of a track. The catchiness of the chorus really works well towards the whole overall simplicity of the song. The song is really built around aggression from the guitars, the drums, and obviously from the harsh vocals. So you have those 3 components coming in to give the song a very dynamic approach, a very aggressive approach. As far as the solos on the track is concerned, I really like what they've done. They are extremely dynamic, they have a lot of fluidity, they add to the dynamic of the song, they don't slow the track down. This is a track that just needs to be released and let go. It just has that kind of a vibe to it. So you don't need a solo that adds melody, you don't need a solo that just goes completely over the top. You need a solos that give the song continuity, they give the song a sense of continuing down the same path that it's had at the beginning. So you never feel at any point in time that there is a little bit of pumping of the brakes, that the song is about to slow down. I really like Gren Deceiver because it's just the perfect way to get not just an EP, but to get any record on its way, because it just grabs your attention immediately with its aggressiveness, with its power, and with its heaviness. The second song on the EP is Litany. Now, this is a remake of a song that's about 20 years old. They released the song 20 years ago, and they just give this song, in my opinion, a perfect facelift. When you compare this one to the original, I felt that this one was a lot heavier, a lot more polished, but a lot heavier, a lot more dynamic. They changed a few things here and there. They changed enough to make the song new, but not a lot to make the song completely different from the original, if you know what I mean. So when you listen to the original and you listen to this one, you can tell that this is almost a cover song, if you will, of the original. It feels almost like a cover song of the original, more than a remake, if you will. I really like this song. I feel that it comes perfectly after Gren Deceiver. These are 2 tracks that are absolutely relentless. They have a lot of aggression, a lot of momentum, really high tempos. So I really like the fact that it has them back to back. And if you think about this song, if you think the original was a 10, this one is definitely an 11, because it just adds a lot more to it. To me, this This remake has a lot more meat on the bone than the original. I felt listening to this, it just carried a bigger punch. It felt heavier. It felt even more melodic in certain points of the song, specifically with the solos. It just felt that it had a lot more to give than the original. And I really like the fact that they put Gren Deceiver and this one back to back, because there are two songs, they're very similar in structure and sound, but even in the way they carry themselves with their tempos, with the heaviness, with the aggression. The third song on the EP is Emptiness. This one is very different from the previous two. Still very heavy, but they've stripped away a little bit of the death metal core, spinal cord that the previous two had, and this song has a lot more thrash metal in it. I really love this song because after the barrage of the first two tracks, this one gives you aggressiveness, it gives you heaviness, but it gives you in a different way. It gives you with a different structure. The song is structured completely different from the previous two. It has a completely different sound, different vibe, still heavy, still aggressive, still with a nice tempo to it, but very different. I love the thrash guitar riff on this song. Is absolutely one of those riffs that you just get hooked on immediately the moment you listen to this song. Absolutely one of my favorite songs on this EP, just because of how that riff sounds like. And when you add the riff with the drums in the background, the drums in the riff is like 1 and 2. They just like you always feel like they're overcompensating each other with either heaviness or melody. I really like that 1 and 2 punch. The drums come in and go out, and that riff just stays there chugging along. When you have those two components and you add the aggressiveness of the vocals to it, you have the perfect storm as far as the track is concerned. It's just so well put together. It just really has such a cool dynamic to it, cool sound, really heavy, old school, a lot slower in the tempo, but still a lot heavy. It has a pure heaviness to it. Fourth, I'm losing track of myself here. The fourth song on the EP is Despair. This is the shortest track on the EP. This song comes in at 1 minute and 20 seconds. Really short. But what this song lacks in length, it makes up in violence and aggression. This is a pure death metal song with some punk components. I would say when you look at the structure of this song almost feels more like a punk or even a grindcore song than it does death metal, but it has a death metal blanket over it. So to me, when I listen to this track, I really feel like the structure comes from a different place, from that punk or grindcore, if you will, background, but the overall song still has that death metal DNA to it. So the combination of these two factors really make this song interesting. Very dynamic, very different, very short, very compact, but yet extremely aggressive. Last but not least, Stealer. This is a Judas Priest cover, and I'm glad they kept the Judas Priest vibe on this cover song. They didn't strip it away. They didn't grab a song that was originally done by Judas Priest and convert it into a death metal song done by Vader. They kept some of the original traces of the song there. They kept some of the originality of the track there. They just gave it enough of their own DNA to make the song sound heavier, different, and have their fingerprint on it, if you will. So I like that. I like the fact that they didn't go completely outside of the realm, and they didn't go completely out of the box and created a song that almost had nothing reminiscing of the cover song. I like the fact that they kept some of its integrity in place, but yet they made it their own. This is a song that if Vader released without being a cover, if you could almost feel like this could be one of their tracks. Sure, it doesn't have that balls to the wall death metal sound approach or even that thrash metal vibe that you get in Emptiness. It has more of that new wave of British heavy metal sound to it, but there's still so much underlying aggression there. From the vocals, from the guitar riffs, from the way the song is put together, there's still enough there that makes you feel like you're listening to a Vader track, even though this is a cover song. I really felt that they really did a good job with this. It's not easy to cover Judas Priest, it's not easy to cover this song, but this is a really well done cover from their perspective. I really like this song. It's an awesome cover, and they did justice to the original. Alright guys, this is Vader with their brand new EP, Die Messenger, like I said, out May 31st on Nuclear Blast, and keep in mind they have a full-length album coming out later on in the year, but let me know your thoughts on the band, on the EP, in the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care guys.